November 3, Golf, Kilo, Victor. Just got done putting up a new antenna, and just wanted to see how everything is working out and sounding. Back to you.
Okay, gosh, what radio are you running first, Bob?
Okay, yeah, Jim, we're running the Yaesu FTDX-101D. That's the radio here, and we're using your Electro Voice RE27ND microphone.
All right, give me 10 to 15 seconds. Tell me about your antenna system, and let me see if I can get you on my local antenna.
Okay, very good.
132-foot end fed, which is only about 30 feet. I also have a 40-meter dipole up at a similar height with a slightly different orientation. And then this afternoon I just got done putting up a 40-meter end fed, which has a different orientation. And as it turned out, a little bit of it is now there's a flat top for almost all, but maybe 8 or 9 feet is in a vertical configuration now. So that's the antenna I'm on, and that's I want to see how things are working. Back to you.
Roger, I'm copying you on my local antenna. You're about 8 over my noise level. I'm looking at your audio curve on a spectrum analyzer. You have a nice bottom end, but you need a little more top end for articulation. I would crank in plus 3 top end treble boost from where you are.
Okay, Jim. Yeah, unfortunately, this has the 3-band parametric, and those things are kind of maxed up. And I could just try. Let me just try one thing and just see if that changes the sound of this at all. Just 1 second.
What type of EQ do you have on that radio?
Okay, this is a 3-band parametric EQ, and I just made one change over what I was doing before, and it just changed the bandwidth a little bit. But and I had been running the 100 to 29, but just wondering if this helped at all with the high end.
A little bit. Now you are running 100 to 2900, Roger?
Well, no, I was 100 to 29 the first time, and then when you had mentioned that we were a little light on the high end, I put it now on the 50 to 3050.
No, yeah, keep it 100 to 2900. Otherwise, you'll have folks coming to visit you with pitchforks, Roger.
No, okay. Yeah, no, so this, right now I'm back at the 100 to 2900, and and I have the, as far as the high-end equalization, I have that thing up at 3,000 hertz, and I have that as high as it'll go, and I have a fairly, one of the widest bandwidth on that. Now, I could make adjustments for the mid-range. Maybe that'll affect what you're hearing.
All right, mid-range should be flat. On a 3-band EQ, you should always keep your mid-range flat. The whole idea about a 3-band EQ is a top to mid-range balance and a bottom to mid-range balance. And if you boost the mid-range, it's so much harder for your top and bottom to balance there. So you want to make sure that your mid-range is flat. Roger?
Okay. Actually, at this point, I went to the equalizer, and the parametric on the second band is now in an off, so we don't have any mid-range being added.
That's sure what you said there. That mid-range 1K mid-range should be in the flat mode, neither cut nor boost. Roger?
Okay. Yes. At this point, it is in an off mode, so there is no equalization on the mid-range.
All right, and so then we want to, is the bottom flat also?
No, the bottom, and actually I had conversation with you way back when I got this radio, I had too much bass on it, so on the bottom end, the lowest it goes is 100 cycles. I have this thing at a bandwidth of 4, which is a fairly narrow bandwidth, and I have it down at a -5 setting, so that's cutting back on the bass a little bit.
Yeah, okay, let's keep that now. Let's go to treble EQ, and I want you to take that parametric center frequency to 2.5K. 2.5K on the parametric EQ. Roger? Center frequency for the parametric at 2.5K.
Okay, yeah, let me make a change here. Okay, now we're at 2.5 on that, and I had been running that. Wait, let me just check something here. Okay, Jim. Yeah, the center frequency. I mean, on the center, I have it at 1500. I mean, that's the highest I can go on that, and at this point, I have the high band one is at 2500, and I used to have it at 3.
Yeah, you want to make that mid-range 1K. Drop it to 1K, not 1.5K, but 1K on the mid-range. Roger?
Yes, mid-range. Okay, the mid-range now is at 1000.
Excellent, excellent. Now, and we're 2.5K on the parametric, and how much are we boosting on that?
Okay, at the 2.5, it's boosted all the way at a 10, and that's the highest it goes. I have a bandwidth of a 1, which is the widest bandwidth. Well, actually, I mean, I could go to a 0 on that. I don't know if that would change that or not.
So you're at the widest band pass on the 2.5 parametric?
Yes.
Okay, and what would be the other peak? How can you make that more peak than less broad?
Yes. Okay, this is at a 4, so it's at a less broad at this point.
Okay, I started to lose that last transmission. Repeat.
Okay, yeah, now I have the bandwidth at a 4, which is less broad than the 1 I was running it.
Okay, I'll tell you what, come to 2.2K, and back to a 4 bandwidth. 2.2K, back to a 4 bandwidth, Roger?
Okay, yeah, that's where I am now. I'm at 2200 hertz, level of 10, and a bandwidth of 4.
Roger, now, why don't you tell me about the best thing you like about your radio?
Oh, what I really enjoy the radio, I had an ICOM before this, the 7610. I started off and had a whole bunch of Yaesus starting in the beginning. This radio, I like the size and the functionality of it. Really enjoy the digital noise processing when I need it, which isn't that often. Also like the reflectivity of it, and the fact that it has a variable bandwidth on the receive that you can just change bandwidth. So it's just a nice versatile radio, and I really enjoy using it.
All righty. Maybe I would want to drop a little bit off the bottom end. One-click bass roll from where you are. One-click bass roll from where you are.
Okay, well this is one click, and I was running it at a -5, and now we're down to a -6.
All right, I wish I had a better copy on you. I tell you what, why don't you go back now to your ALC, since we've been messing around with our EQs. It's a good idea to go back to your ALC and verify that you are running mid-scale to 2/3, and use your mic level control to adjust the ALC for reading mid-scale to 2/3 as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12. Yeah, I'm finding this thing when I'm increasing the mic on this thing, it's actually dropping the ALC. Although it looks like it's pretty much mid-range now. But in order to do that, I have the processor off. I can kick in the processor, and then I can read both meters simultaneously, the compression meter and the ALC, if that's helpful.
Not necessary. We're just we're going to stick with the ALC at mid-scale. I'm sorry, with the ALC at mid-scale to 2/3, and the mic, the preamp. Hello, scatterbrain. The compressor at a 3. Roger.
Okay. Well, let me kick in the compression. See what happens here, and it might be the function of this radio. It also has this infamous AMC control, which I pretty well have played with. So now when I kick in compression with that mic gain, we're running awful hot on the compression. Let me just I can bring the compression down, which I'm doing here. However, that's not really dropping it on the
That's not really dropping it on the meter here. It seems to be a function with this radio. If I run the mic gain up to where you're saying that I get the ALC that I need, conversely, I have the compression all the way down to 0 on this, and it's still reading peak in 10 or so on the meter.
Roger that. Very strange, very strange. So, do you have an output control on that compressor, or just an input control?
Control on that compressor, or just an input control?
Well, it would just be an input control. I guess some other radio, the output, but it would just be input to my knowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's normal, but there are some radios that do have not only an input, but they do have an output control, which gives you a little more latitude, but you have to know what you're doing there when you adjust the output. You get the front end looking right, and then bring the output down and whatever. But anyway, that's not the case here. I think if what we're looking for out of that compressor is only about a third of its capabilities. It just should be loafing. I mean, you could theoretically go without it, but it does help you hit that 3 dB dynamic range, Roger.
If you hit that 3 dB dynamic range, Roger.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Let me fool around with this.
Make these two things work more between the compression and the ALC more in tandem. What we're looking for. Right now, this thing could be hitting peaks of upwards to 15, and my ALC is maybe peaking at 2/3 at the highest at this point. So I think I'm going to have to fool around with this and maybe get things more in line here.
Roger. Now, how close are you working your mic?
I'm probably about an inch or so from the mic.
All right, you need to be at least 3 inches back from that mic. I would run that mic about 3 inches back, and let me hear you at 3 inches distance from that mic.
Okay, now we are, I would say, about 3 inches from the microphone.
Oh, it makes a big difference, bud. It makes a big difference. You're getting a tremendous bass boost proximity effect by working that mic that close. I would come back, try 4 inches away from that mic.
Okay, I would say I'm probably about 4 inches away from the microphone now.
I would run it just like that, 3 to 4 inches, no closer. And I would go back and double-check my ALC from working it back at 3 inches. Roger, your level's going to be different now, so go back and check your ALC.
Okay. Well, the ALC is picking up. It's pretty much more like about half, and maybe up to 60% on the peaks at this point. So. I think if I could increase my gain and get that up a little higher if need be.
Yeah, because when you move from 1 inch to 3 inches back or 4 inches back, your level is going to shift. And that's why you need to go back and double-check your ALC for correct mid-scale to 2/3 by way of mic gain control.
Okay. Well, then we'll... that's probably about where it should be now, and... The processing is maybe 3/4 or so. So that it seems like maybe it's better working it back, and that's not the way I have been using this microphone. But we'll try it this way.
Exactly. Now, I think we've got some pretty good fidelity going here. If you could give me something longer that we could get a good recording, maybe 20 seconds about something that we can get a good recording since we've got you kind of lined out there, Roger.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Well, I guess I could talk about my antennas. I have a 132-foot end-fed, I mentioned up about 30 feet, and then a dipole, and I just put up this 40-meter end-fed this afternoon, got it up. I was having problems with it. The antenna hitting branches of this tree, which most of the branches were dead, so I put a whole bunch of poles together and kind of whacked at them and got rid of the dead wood, and now the antenna is not touching anything, and it seems to be working pretty well.
Roger, Roger, Bob. All right, sounding good, buddy. And if you want to hear it, go to YouTube, do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, along with today's date, 11/5/21, and that will take you directly to this recording. Roger?
Okay, very good, Jim. Thank you, as always, for all your help and all the good work you do for everyone. Have a great, safe, and happy weekend. This is N3GKV, clear at 73.
Roger, Roger. 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If you can, join us next Friday. This is KC9VKV, 10 to 5. At 5, we turn into a pumpkin. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.